Today, more young Malaysians suffer from heart problems. Get a full screening with Park City Medical Center's Hearty Deal at 538 ringgit. Promotion ends on November 30th. Act now. Visit parkcitymedicalcenter.com. T&Cs apply.
This is a download from BFM 89.9, the business station.
Good morning and welcome to a special edition of Resource Center, the show where we discuss the tools and techniques you need to be at the forefront of the ever-evolving world of business. This is Audrey Raj. Now, joining us in a few moments, we'll have Puan Rafiza Ghazali, CEO of Cradle Fund, and she's going to be talking to us about the Dubai Expo 2020, more specifically, Malaysia and Cradle Fund's involvement in the Expo and how it will help Malaysia create tomorrow's sustainable startups. Rafiza, welcome to the show.
Hi, Audrey. Hi. Thanks.
So, just to get the ball rolling, Rafiza, maybe you can talk to us about the Dubai Expo and what we can expect from the event this year.
Okay. As you know, the Dubai Expo 2020 is part of the World Expo. It's being held every 5 years. It is probably the largest World Expo ever. So 2020 was supposed to be hosted by Dubai. But of course, as you all know, it's a pandemic. They postponed it to 2021. 1st of October is the first day, and it's going to be held over 6 months up to 31st of March 2022. It's like I say, it's a global event. It's participated by 192 countries. Malaysia is, one of the 192 countries. So the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, which is and Cradle is an agency under MOSTI. So we are supporting MOSTI to participate, on behalf of the Malaysian government for the week 2 that will be held from the 10th to the 15th of October.
So, with Cradle being the lead agency in organizing Week 2 at the Expo, I understand the theme for the week is creating tomorrow's sustainable startups. Why focus on sustainable startups? Why focus on this theme, and what can we expect from Week 2?
So as you know, sustainability is a very, very important agenda. We've always talked about, technology, digital, sustainability is another angle which the government feels very strongly with, as you can see with the recent announcement of RMK12, it's very much focused on sustainability. And Dubai Expo 2020 has got sustainability pillars in it, and Malaysia is part of the sustainability pillars, and hence why we chose the theme creating tomorrow's sustainability startups, which is very apt towards everything, government's agenda, and also for the Dubai 2020 Expo as well.
So I understand that Cradle Fund will be bringing a bunch of promising Malaysian startups to Dubai for Week 2. Maybe you can share whom some of these startups will be and what you hope to deliver with your involvement at the Expo.
Yeah, before I share with you the name of the startups, just to also share that although, Cradle is the lead agency, but I just want to stress upon the fact that we are supporting MOSTI, we are supporting the government. We also work with 4 other funding agencies. They are MEFCAP, MDV, Kumpulan Modal Perdana, and MTDC. So this whole week 2 is actually co-curated together with these 4 other funding agencies, and we're all under MOSTI, right? So I just want to introduce that, and we are bringing 17 startups that are supported by all these 5 funding agencies. So they're not just Cradle startups. There are also startups that are currently being supported by the 4 other agencies. So I'll give you a couple of names. We've got, Aerodyne. As you all know, that's, the world's leading drone service provider. We've also got a number of notable names. We've got Service Hero Group. We've got Hava Agrotech, Money Match, Avana, GK Aqua, Inference Tech, hygiene. There's a long list of it, so you can look at it on the website. And how we choose who to bring. First of all, we also ask them, we also ask the startups, is this something that would be of value to the startups? Because as you all know, a lot of these startups, right, they are, very busy people, they may not have the luxury of, spending a week, plus 2 weeks quarantine. So we need to make sure that, the time they spend is very well worth it. And how we selected these startups as well, they do want to expand globally. Like I said, even though it's going to be held in Dubai, but the participants are it's a global expo. So they have plans to either partner or provide the technology or being invested at a global level, and hence why they're very excited to participate in this Dubai Expo. Yeah.
Right. Now, Rafiza, some of those names that you mentioned earlier are some promising players in the tech scene here. So,
Yeah.
in your opinion, is Malaysia ready to transition to a digital future?
Yeah.
Where are we?
Absolutely. Um, so during the early of the year, February, Malaysia introduced the digital blueprint,
Yeah.
and that sets the tone, and it gives us a path line for every players, everyone in Malaysia. So where are we heading? It's a 9-year blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
And not to say that before this, we've not prepared ourselves. I think we've always been working towards becoming a digital nation, and it can be seen from the pandemic. Acceleration of the digital is even at a much higher value. So that's number one. Now, with this blueprint, it helps a lot because at least, all the players, all the stakeholders, we know which direction we are working towards. And so that, we reach to that agenda where we want to be.
Right. So, Visa, coming back to the expo, what are your expectations or targets? As lead agency for week two, and how do you feel it will benefit the business community locally?
Okay. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just give a brief overview of what's going to happen during week two.
Sure.
So we've got a combination of some really exciting panel sessions and keynote addresses by, like I said, by all the funding agencies that I've mentioned earlier. So panel sessions, keynote addresses. But what's more important is that we're going to showcase all the 17 startups. So they're going to have a booth there. And what we also do is we're going to do some business matching. So there's actually a platform that's organized by the host, Dubai, where our startups or our companies are being featured there, so that everyone can know who they are and can come approach. As you know, sometimes a lot of the business deals is not just easy to be to be done over a phone call. You need to have
Definitely.
physical meetings. And not only that, like a lot of our speakers, they take the opportunity to have side meetings, and hopefully like some things can come out of it. So that's one. So I mentioned panel, keynote address, booth, our startups having booth, business matching, and we're going to have a number of MOUs as well, that's going to be inked during the event. So a lot of these conversations actually started even before the event, and the event actually make it like a platform, provide a platform for them to actually materialize some of these partnerships. And then what we want to do, what we hope, is that the conversation continues. So these are just like probably introduction, and what we really hope out of it is that there's actually going to be continued conversations, even if nothing being done during that week, but at least, connection started, and hopefully, sometime in the future, there's either, business being concluded, startups, being invested. So that's what we target. Yeah, that's what we hope for.
All right. And just before I let you go, Rafiza, for our listeners who are keen to learn more about the Dubai Expo 2020 and your involvement in the event as well, where can they go for more info? And is there a way that we can participate here from home?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The whole idea, one of the beauty of it, for Dubai Expo is the ability for, anyone anywhere to actually participate, because, all the sessions will be will be provided live stream and also being recorded. So, you don't have to be there at that time. You can watch it later. So what you can do is you can go to the Malaysia Dubai Expo website. So it's www.malaysiaexpo2020.com. So there's going to be a link there that you can, just choose, okay, I'm going to, watch this event. And on top of that, we're also going to live stream it at the Mostly Facebook and Cradle Facebook. So there's various ways for you to watch it. So in a way, it's good. And some of our panel is also going to be done, online, because, people are still a bit reluctant to travel. We can understand. So, and plus, over there's also a limit on how many number of people that we can have, because, the expo itself was designed pre-COVID,
Yeah.
and so it's probably, not completely SOP proof, right? So what we have is we allow, but we also want to make sure that we have really interesting speakers. So if they're not able to fly, so they'll participate virtually. So they'll be all over the world. And then, and on top of that, we also have audiences, that can view from all over the world as well.
Right. Rafiza, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Oh, my pleasure, Audrey. Thank you.
I've been speaking with Puan Rafiza Ghazali, CEO of Cradle Fund, and you've been listening to Resource Center on Enterprise BFM 89.9.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. To find more great interviews, go to bfm.my or find us on iTunes. BFM 89.9.